Maine lobstermen and women are in a race to convert their gear in time for compliance with new regulations from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. But there's a problem, and the clock is ticking on a fast-approaching deadline.
This is brand new rope that I've cut last fall.
Lifelong lobsterman Jim Dow has been buried in gear changes for months, remarking miles of rope he uses to fish Maine waters with additional purple sections. With new regulations from NOAA, he's got a lot more work ahead of him.
When the federal regulations come out, they changed it. So now all the rope that I've done in the last 2 years, I've got to redo.
Dow says there's an even bigger problem he and many others are grappling with. He says the key component of other crucial modifications isn't just in short supply. Right now, it barely exists.
They've given a few of us on the MLA board and a few fishing members that fish year-round a handful of these, I think I got 5, to test, to see how well they're going to work in the rope.
The small black ring is meant to be inserted into end lines to act as a weak link that would make it easier for right whales to break free if they became entangled. Dow says he'll need 300 to 500 of them to fully convert all his lines, and the catch? Production on them has barely begun. They're not in shops yet?
No, they are not available to fishermen yet.
Dow also says many of them fish year-round, so the work on their lines means either pulling up their gear and losing revenue or doing the work on their boats little by little. Right now, time and Mother Nature are both working against them.
And this has been a tough winter. We've had a lot of wind, a handful of big storms, and the cold. So we're not able to get to our gear regularly.
Maine's Commissioner of Marine Resources, Patrick Kelleher, says NOAA has said no thus far to delaying the May 1st compliance deadline. And he argues the agency has also not approved enough gear options for fishermen.
If you're going to say no to the governor's and the delegation request to move May 1 to July 1, then you better give us more options.
Shops that supply Maine fishermen and women with the gear they need are feeling the pressure, too.
I mean, it's definitely stressful. It's stressful as a business owner, and, it's stressful for all the fishermen.
Both Dow and Brooks tell us that with the expense of the conversion and the serious supply issues they are experiencing, they say it's highly unlikely that Maine lobstermen and women will be ready for compliance by that May 1st deadline.
If it's up to me, they're not going to sit on the bank, right? I mean, this is a federal rule. The federal agency needs to provide some flexibility here, and that's what we're going to continue to stress.
In the meantime, Dow says they'll be pushing to make that deadline, but he's not optimistic.
Unless I can get a bunch of these tomorrow and the weather turns out really well, I'm not going to make it.
Well, I reached out to NOAA to ask if they were at all considering the request to delay the May 1st deadline to accommodate lobstermen struggling to reach compliance. In an email, NOAA said they do not plan on delaying that deadline.